Once again, I welcome on the class of Geotechnical Engineering. So last class I have discussed about the seepage profile. So in seepage profile, firstly I have discussed the what are the seepage, what is seepage pressure, and then what is seepage force. And after that, I have discussed the three cases. The first one when there is a no flow condition, then at any depth z in the soil, we have seen that the effective stress is gamma submerged into z. Similarly, the second case I have discussed, that is the downward flow condition. So in case of downward flow condition, our effective stress is increases by Iz gamma W. So the effective stress at depth at any depth Z is gamma submerged into Z plus Iz into gamma W. Similarly, in upward flow condition, we have seen that the effective stress is decreases by Iz gamma W. So at any point C at a depth Z, the effective stress is gamma submerged into minus Iz gamma W. So today I will discuss the quicksand condition, and in quicksand condition I will discuss what are the various conditions to occur the quicksand condition, and after that expression of critical hydraulic gradient and factor of safety against piping, and then I will take few problems based on the quicksand condition. So let us discuss about the quicksand condition. Quicksand condition. So quicksand condition is not a type of sand; it is a phenomena. When flow is in upward direction, then as we know that the effective stress decreases, and at a time come when our total seepage force is equal to the point weight of the soil, and at that time effective stress of the soil will be zero. And in that case, for cohesionless soil, soil loses all its shear strength, because we know that the according to Moore Coulombs, the shear strength is equal to C plus sigma dash into tan phi. But the due to the cohesionless soil, the shear strength cohesion will not partakes in the shear strength of the soil. So once the effective stress is zero, our shear strength of the soil will be zero. So entire soil mass behaves like a liquid, and in that condition, that type of phenomena is called quicksand condition, or boiling, or piping. So at quicksand condition, so there are three conditions for the quicksand condition. The first one is flow should be in upward direction, and the second one is soil is cohesionless, and the third one is effective stress is zero. At quicksand condition, the hydraulic gradient is converted to critical hydraulic gradient, that is also called piping gradient, bursting gradient, and at that time we have to just equate the value of effective stress is zero, so we will get the value of critical hydraulic gradient, and the expression will be gamma submerged by gamma W, or in terms of G and E, so it will be G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E. So if I write the about the quicksand condition, so quicksand condition is not a type of sand, it is the phenomena. When flow is in upward direction, effective stress will reduce, will decrease, will decreases. When seepage force is equal to the point weight, then effective stress will be 0. And for cohesionless soil, for cohesionless soil, when effective stress is 0, so soil loses all its shear strength, means shear strength of the soil is 0. Soil loses all its shear strength and entire soil mass behaves like a liquid. This phenomena is called quicksand condition or sand boiling or piping in the soil. So I told you that in upward flow condition, generally the effective stress is reduces, as we have seen that when flow is in upward direction, effective stress is at any depth z is equal to gamma submerged z minus Iz gamma w. When this seepage force or seepage pressure is equal to the point weight of the soil, so at that time our effective stress will be 0. And for cohesionless soil, when effective stress is 0, so shear strength of the soil will be 0 and an entire soil mass behaves like a liquid. So this phenomena is called quicksand condition, sand boiling or piping in the soil. So there are three conditions. There are three conditions for which quicksand condition occur. And what are the values these three conditions? So the first condition is flow is in upward direction or upward flow. In case of upward flow, we have seen that in case of upward flow, we have seen that effective stress at any depth z is gamma submerged into z minus Iz gamma w. So क्या है? In case of upward flow condition, effective stress we can see that is decreases by Iz gamma w or seepage pressure as compared to no flow condition. A time will come when seepage pressure is equal to this gamma submerged into Z, and that will be the at that time our effective stress will be 0. And for cohesionless soil, as we know that shear strength is the function of this effective stress, so our shear strength will be 0. Second one is soil is cohesionless, and third one is effective stress is 0. So these are the three conditions must be fulfilled for the quicksand condition, sand boiling or piping. Effective stress must be equal to 0. We can see here the example of quicksand condition. Examples of quicksand condition. So in here this is the sand, but the soil loses all its shear strength, so it is very difficult to walk. So we can here see that the entire soil mass behaves like a liquid. And here we can see that due to the quicksand condition, this is the condition will occur. So generally where there is a chances of quicksand condition, like for fine grained sand and coarse silt. So at that position we have to make a banner. Here we can see that we can alert the people so don't go there, because here we can see that the danger is on the quicksand, so it will be stay away. So such type of banner should be there, or such type of uh, alarming should be there. So here we can see that. So this is the all about the quicksand condition. So now I am going to discuss the for quicksand condition. So at quicksand condition, at quicksand condition, hydraulic gradient, at quicksand condition, hydraulic gradient is called critical hydraulic gradient, or piping gradient, or bursting gradient. So the expression of effective stress is, what is gamma submerged into Z minus I into Z into gamma W. So at quicksand condition, at quicksand condition, our hydraulic gradient will be converted to critical hydraulic gradient, piping gradient, or bursting gradient. So sigma dash can be written as gamma submerged into Z minus IC into Z into gamma W. And at quicksand condition, our effective stress, so at quicksand condition, our effective stress will be 0. So if I zero this value, so 0 is equal to gamma submerged into Z minus IC into Z into gamma W. So it will be IC is equal to gamma submerged divided by gamma W, or if I write the value of gamma submerged, G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E gamma W, so it will be G minus 1 divided by 1 plus, or we can also write this case. So here IC is critical hydraulic gradient, G is the specific gravity, E is the void ratio, gamma submerged is the submerged unit weight, and we can write submerged unit weight is G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E into gamma W. This hydraulic gradient can also be written in terms of, we can write uh, in terms of porosity. So in terms of porosity, we can write IC is equal to G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E, and we know that E is equal to eta by 1 by eta, where eta is the porosity. So IC can be written as G minus 1 divided by 1 plus eta by 1 minus eta. So we can write G minus 1 into 1 minus porosity. So critical hydraulic gradient can also be written as G minus 1 into 1 minus porosity. So this is the expression of critical hydraulic gradient in terms of porosity. Here eta is the porosity of the soil. So how to prevent this quicksand condition? So there are various techniques to uh, uh, minimize this quicksand condition or remove this quicksand condition phenomena. So quicksand condition phenomena generally occur when when we make the excavation. So for the before the excavation, we have to lower the water table. So in practice, quicksand condition occurs when excavation is being made below water table and water is being pumped out from excavation pit to keep area free from water table. So these are the various preventive measures we can take. Lowering of water table at site before excavation, and the second one is by increasing the upward flow length. So once we increase the upward flow length, so the effective stress will enhance, so there is a lesser chances of quicksand condition. And addition of surcharge loading, so addition of surcharge loading will increase the point weight or self weight of the soil, so it will once again minimize the quicksand condition. So these are the preventive measures we can take to avoid the quicksand condition. So now I am going to take the problem. So this is the first problem related to the quicksand condition or critical hydraulic gradient. The relationship between the specific gravity of sand G and the hydraulic gradient I to initiate quicksand condition in the sand layer having porosity 30%. So here we have the relation between quicksand hydraulic gradient at quicksand condition, means this is IC, and the specific gravity G. So we know that IC is equal to G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E, or we have also written G minus 1 into 1 minus eta in terms of porosity. So here hydraulic gradient at quicksand is I, so we can write I is equal to G minus 1. So the specific gravity is G minus 1 into 1 minus porosity is given 30%, so 0.3. So we can write I is equal to G minus 1 into 1 minus 0.3, it will be 7, 0.7. So 0.7 G minus 0.7. So we can write the expression in terms of G is equal to. So G is equal to, we can write 0.7 G is equal to I plus 0.7. So here we can write 0.7 G is equal to I plus 0.7. So G is equal to I by 0.7 plus 1. So it will be 1 by 1.7. So it will be 1 divided by 0.7. So it is 1.43. So we can write 1.43 I plus 1. So G is equal to 1.43 I plus 1. G is equal to 1.43 I plus 1. So C option is correct. C option is correct. So let us take the another problem. For a saturated sand deposit, the void ratio and specific gravity of solids are 0.7 and 2.67 respectively. The critical hydraulic gradient is. So this question is asked in GATE 2007. So we can write here critical hydraulic gradient, critical hydraulic gradient IC is equal to G minus 1 divided by 1 plus E. So the specific gravity of solid is, this is a straightforward question. So 2.67 minus 1, 2.67 minus 1 divided by 1 plus void ratio is given 0.7. So it will be 0.7. So it will be 1.67 divided by 1.7. So 1.67, 1.67, 1.67 divided by 1.7. So it will be 0.98. So critical hydraulic gradient is 0.98. 0.98. So B option is correct. Similarly, to provide safety against piping failure with a factor of safety 5, what should be the maximum permissible exit gradient for the soil with a specific gravity of 2.5 and porosity of porosity of 0.35? So factor of safety, generally if I compute the factor of safety against piping, so it will be the ratio of critical hydraulic gradient to the original hydraulic gradient of the soil. So if I write the factor of safety against piping, so we can write here note. So if I write the note, factor of safety, factor of safety against piping. So factor of safety can be ratio of critical hydraulic gradient by original hydraulic gradient. and for no piping, factor of safety should be greater than unity, means IC is greater than I for no piping. So here in the question it is given IC, we can compute the critical hydraulic gradient. So critical hydraulic gradient we can compute IC is equal to, porosity is given, so it will be G minus 1 into 1 minus porosity. So G is 2.5 and 0.35. So 2.5 minus 1 into 1 minus 0.35. So it will be, critical hydraulic gradient will be 1.5 into 0.65. So it will be 0.975 critical hydraulic gradient. 0.975, and factor of safety is given. Factor of safety is given. It is 5. So factor of safety is 5. So factor of safety can be written as ratio of critical hydraulic gradient by original hydraulic gradient. So original hydraulic gradient, it will be IC by factor of safety. So 0.975 divided by 5. So it will be how much divided by 5? So it will be 0.195. 0.195. So if I see the option, so it will be C option is correct. So let us take the another problem. A seepage flow condition is occur is shown in the figure. The saturated unit weight of the soil is 18 kilonewton per meter cube and unit weight of water is 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube. The effective vertical stress on plane XX. So along this plane we have to find the effective vertical stress. So firstly we have to identify which type of flow condition is occur, whether it is downward flow condition or upward flow condition. So we can see that there is a drawdown in the head of the water. So it will be the condition of, so it will be drawdown, downward, it is the case of downward flow condition. So in downward flow condition we know that effective stress will increase. So if I write the effective stress at XX, so effective stress will be, we can write effective stress sigma dash XX is equal to gamma submerge into Z plus I into Z into gamma W, where we have to understand the symbol. So gamma submerge is the difference between saturated unit weight and unit weight of water. Z is the thickness of soil where we have to find effective stress, and I is the hydraulic gradient, can be written as capital H, small h by capital H, where H is the total thickness of soil sample and H is the change in head. So we can write here gamma submerge can be computed as, so if I see the figure, so here what will be the Z? So where we have to find the effective stress, and from the initial point to the where we have to find the effective stress, that will be the Z. And similarly the total thickness of the soil sample is 6 meter and change in head is, this is change in head is H. So if I write the value of Z is 5 meter, H is 6 meter and H is 3 meter. So if I compute the effective vertical stress, so it will be sigma dash XX is equal to gamma submerge into Z plus I into Z into gamma W. Gamma submerge can be written as 18 minus 9.81 and Z is 5 meter plus I can be written as small h by capital H into Z into gamma W. So it will be 18 minus 9.81 into 5 plus 3 by 6 into Z is 5 into 9.81. So this value will be 18 minus 9.81, 18 minus 9.81 into 5 plus it will be 3 by 6, so 1 by 2. So 5 into 9.81 divided by 2. So it will be 65.475. So the effective stress at x-axis is 65.475 kilonewton per meter square is the effective stress at x-axis. So today I have discussed about the quicksand condition, and in quicksand condition we have seen there are three very necessary condition to occur the quicksand. That is, the first one is the soil is cohesionless, and the second one is upward flow condition, and third one is when effective stresses of the soil is zero. And after that we have seen that the expression of critical hydraulic gradient, and according critical the expression of critical hydraulic gradient, that is gamma submerged by gamma w, or g minus 1 divided by 1 plus c, and 1 plus e. And then after that I have discussed the problems based on the critical hydraulic gradient and factor of safety against piping. So in the next class I will discuss the Laplace equation for two-dimensional flow, and then after that I will discuss the use of flow net, application of flow net. So take care of your health and happy learning.